What if I told you that the most famous conqueror in human history started out completely broke, stripped of his inheritance, and working a regular 9-to-5 job just to survive? When you hear the name Julius Caesar, you picture a man born with a crown, leading massive armies from day one. That is a historical lie. In his early 20s, Caesar had absolutely nothing. The government had confiscated his family's wealth. To make a living, he worked as a low-level trial lawyer in the Roman courts. He was a common citizen, struggling to pay the bills, taking on impossible legal cases just to get his name out there. He wasn't so different from you or anyone today trying to build an empire from scratch. He had no money, he had no army, but he had a system. He engineered his own rise from a broke lawyer to a literal god. And at the very end of this video, I am going to reveal Caesar's ultimate hidden strategy. A psychological trap so manipulative, it destroyed his greatest rivals without lifting a single weapon. It is a secret most historians ignore, but modern billionaires use it every single day. Today, we tear apart the blueprint of the propaganda architect, and we will show you exactly how to apply his codex to your modern life, the legal way. Welcome to Codex Legacies. Caesar's first major obstacle was the exact same one every modern entrepreneur faces. He needed capital. In Rome, political power cost money. You had to host public events, build infrastructure, and win the favor of the people. Caesar didn't have the money, so he began borrowing. But he didn't just borrow a little, he borrowed an astronomical amount. He was millions of dollars in debt. Most people let debt paralyze them. Caesar used debt to control the banks. He understood a brilliant, ruthless financial concept. If you owe an investor $1,000, that is your problem. But if you owe the wealthiest men in the city $100 million, that becomes their problem. By digging a financial hole so deep, Caesar forced the most powerful men in the Republic, like the billionaire Marcus Crassus, to protect him. When Caesar's early creditors tried to ruin him, Crassus had to step in and pay the immediate debts. Why? Because if Caesar failed, Crassus would lose his massive investment. Caesar didn't ask for their political support. He mathematically forced them to ensure his success. He made his personal survival an absolute financial necessity for the elite. Once he had financial leverage, he needed to establish his personal brand. Your value in the market is never determined by what you do. It is determined by what you demand. In 75 BC, while traveling across the sea, Caesar's ship was captured by pirates. They held him hostage and demanded a ransom of 20 talents of silver. In today's money, that is about $600,000. A normal man would have been terrified. Caesar was insulted. He laughed in their faces and told them they clearly didn't know who they had captured. He demanded they raise his own ransom to 50 talents, over $1.5 million. Why? Because a 20-talent ransom meant he was just a regular citizen. A 50-talent ransom declared to the entire world that he was a king. For over a month, he treated his captors like his own employees. He read them poetry. He ordered them to be quiet when he wanted to sleep. He promised them that once he was released, he would return and eliminate every single one of them. They thought he was joking. He wasn't. The moment the ransom was paid, he raised a private fleet, tracked them down, and punished them exactly as promised. The lesson? Never let the market dictate your worth. You dictate your worth, and then you force the market to agree. But the debt was still there. To truly become untouchable, Caesar needed wealth and undeniable authority. He secured a position as a general in Gaul. History tells us he went to Gaul to expand the Roman Empire. The truth is much darker. He went to Gaul to execute a massive 10-year heist to pay off his investors. To succeed, he had to establish absolute dominance. During his campaign, he faced the Germanic tribes across the massive, rapid Rhine River. The tribes felt safe. The river was their impenetrable wall. Caesar didn't just want to defeat them, he wanted to break their minds. He ordered his engineers to build a massive wooden bridge across the raging river in just 10 days. It was a logistical impossibility, but they did it. Caesar marched his army across, spent 18 days showing his absolute power, and then marched back. And then he destroyed his own bridge. It wasn't a retreat. It was a psychological weapon. The message was clear. I am not trapped on my side of the river. You are trapped on yours. I can reach you whenever I want. He conquered them with pure logistics. But what good is value, wealth, and impossible achievements if no one knows your name? Caesar was fighting in Gaul for a decade, far away from Rome. Out of sight usually means out of mind. His enemies in the capital were trying to ruin his reputation, so Caesar invented what modern businesses call content marketing. He didn't wait for historians to write about him. He wrote his own story. He wrote detailed, thrilling reports from the front lines. But the genius of his codex was the format. He wrote them in the third person. He didn't write, I defeated the enemy. He wrote, Caesar outsmarted the enemy. By removing the I, it didn't sound like a man bragging. It sounded like an objective, historical fact. These reports were sent back to Rome and read aloud in the streets. He was providing free, highly addictive entertainment to the public. He built a direct, parasocial relationship with the people. Before he ever returned to Rome, he was already a living legend. Eventually, the establishment tried to shut him down. The Senate ordered him to disband his forces and return to Rome as a private citizen. If he did, he would be prosecuted, ruined, and exiled. He stood at the banks of the Rubicon River. Roman law explicitly stated that any leader who crossed the river with his men was an enemy of the state. He crossed the river. He quoted the famous phrase, "The die is cast." By eliminating any possibility of retreat, he forced himself to achieve total victory. He destroyed his own safety net. When you have no plan B, plan A is your only option. And now we arrive at the promised secret, the ultimate psychological trap. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, a civil war erupted. His main rival was Pompey the Great. In ancient warfare, when you defeated a rival, the standard procedure was brutal. Execute the leaders, confiscate their wealth, and punish their supporters. It was how you asserted dominance. Caesar did the exact opposite. He invented a strategy called clementia, mercy. Whenever Caesar captured enemy commanders, he didn't harm them. He publicly forgave them. He gave them back their property and let them go free. Why? Because it was the most manipulative PR move in history. By forgiving them, he looked like a reasonable savior, while his enemies looked like aggressive villains for continuing to fight him. Furthermore, the men he forgave now owed him their lives. They were paralyzed by guilt and public perception. He didn't just defeat their armies, he destroyed their moral high ground. He weaponized forgiveness to make himself untouchable. We don't live in ancient Rome, but the Caesar blueprint is more effective today than ever. How do you apply this codex to become the Caesar of your own industry? First, leverage your relationships. Align the incentives of powerful people with your own success. Create a situation where your victory makes your investors or your boss rich. Make your success necessary for them. Second, control your perceived value. If you act like a beginner, the market will treat you like one. Demand the 50 talents. Position yourself as premium from day one and back it up with undeniable quality. Third, become your own media company. If you do not document your achievements, they do not exist. Build in public. Control your narrative before your competitors do. Fourth, cross your Rubicon. The greatest obstacle to massive success is a comfortable backup plan. To conquer your goals, you must burn the boats. And finally, weaponize your mercy. When you defeat a competitor or win a massive negotiation, do not humiliate them. Be gracious. Be magnanimous. It will make your enemies respect you, and the public adore you. History is not made by those who wait for permission. It is made by those who write the story. If you know someone who is building their own empire right now, send them this video. They need to hear this. To decode more blueprints of the architects of history, subscribe to Codex Legacies. The vault will open again soon.